Ahmed. You've met Jamal Kahshoggi. Just tell us about the man and about his work.
Well, Jamal is a sincere Saudi patriot. He loves his country and he believes that MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, could be a very good reformer if he chooses the right advisors and if he allows real reform, not only superficial reform, as Jamal always say. He was very vocal. He was always speaking about a development of his own country. He wants things to get real reform on the ground, not only by allowing or lifting the ban on women to drive cars, but also to release all these women activists in jail and all these clerics that have been jailed. That's why in 2017 he was voluntarily self-exiling himself to the United States in order to speak for those who do not have voices on the media. He himself wrote on Twitter once that I'm leaving my home, my family, my homeland in order to speak for those who cannot speak for the media. Otherwise, I would be betraying those who languish in prison at this moment. So he's a very good man. He was very close to the royal family. He was one of the advisors for one of the princes for more than 10 years. And at the time of King Abdullah, he was the editor-in-chief of the daily news agency, Al-Watan. So he's a kind of a guy who's well-known everywhere in the world. Anyone who would be working on diplomatic issues, on any kind of research, think tanks for Saudi Arabia would know him in the past 30 years or so. He's also a very prominent writer for the Washington Post. Recently, I think on Friday, the Washington Post published the edition with a blank section of Jamal saying a missing voice, and they do have some doubts that he's been killed, as we do. We don't know exactly, we do not have any confirmation, but everything on the ground is saying that the Saudi government is not cooperating, which gives more doubts that he might be killed.
I'm interested because let's kind of talk about it from a more macro level, because as we say, we are still getting information coming in. This is still a developing story. We're still waiting to hear from President Erdogan. But critics in Saudi Arabia, Saudi critics of Saudi Arabia are not necessarily safe, are they? There have been arrests and in fact, friends of Jamal Khashoggi have been arrested as well, haven't they?
In case this operation was confirmed, because look, what we have is the guy, Jamal, went into the embassy, the consulate in Istanbul on a Tuesday, and he didn't show up till this moment. And all the cameras, the surveillance cameras there, they were checked and he was not out from the consulate, which means that there's somebody who's involved inside the consulate. The Saudi officials are not cooperating. If the murder case was confirmed, then there are serious messages sent by the MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince, to all the dissent, either on his own soil or abroad, that you're not safe, you cannot be, which is a very big scandal in all terms. Like, you cannot imagine that a guy who is speaking about Mohammed bin Salman as a major reformer of his own country, he didn't say like bad words like some of the opposition groups in the United Kingdom. They're very critical in terms of the words they use, the rhetoric they're coming out. They even use bad words against Mohammed bin Salman, but they were not killed. Killing this guy on Turkish soil is a clear violation, if this was confirmed, to the sovereignty of Turkey. And it is expected that President Erdogan will be speaking as resources coming from the presidency compound, very harsh words. In case this was confirmed, we are expecting President Erdogan to speak exclusively about it.
Well, Saudi is also going to it's going to be forced to respond to this in some way, either today or in the coming days. Thank you for that. That's Editor-at-Large Ahmed Aliolu.